This is being recorded on the 26th of April in 2023. I repeat, on the 26th of April in 2023. This is not for usage outside of your jurisdictional usage, right? About a month ago, I want to say, I was in the bathroom, right? As any other day, right? I got a notification from one of my friends that there was a power outage, right? In about like an hour, a scheduled power outage, which was weird because my electrician, right, they didn't notify me, so it was kinda out of the blue and didn't really make sense, right? So, I was just there, right? I didn't really think anything of it. And then I heard a buzzing sound. Like, it was like a wasp, but, with cut off wings, like half cut off. So it, like, sounded really light and really, like, girthy and uncomfortable, right? It was a desperate little buzz for attention, right? That's how the buzzing sound was. And I didn't think anything of it. I just thought it was like some bug somewhere, like a fly or like something, right? It didn't really like catch my attention all that much. But then I catch something out of my eye, right? It came from the mirror, and the mirror was pulsing, right? It's like one of those traditional mirrors that didn't really like that isn't like a special shape or anything. It's like a square from sink up mirror, right? I heard the buzzing sound from the mirror, right? And I also saw a very, very, very small light from the middle of it, right? It like a little light, and you could tell it wasn't from outside the mirror just reflecting. It was in the mirror, right? It was in the middle of the mirror, right? So I obviously tried to find out what the hell it was, right? I was a little bit weirded out. And then it became bigger. It started consuming more and more of the mirror, and I thought it was a dream, right? I just thought, like, oh, this is a weird dream. I'm gonna wake up in a few minutes, right? it started getting bigger. It started pulsing. It started like getting to the size of my fist. And then when it became bigger than my fist, I started like panicking. It became as big as like uh like it just became bigger, right? And this was like an LED, like a cheap LED, white LED light, right? It was like that kind of vibrance and that kind of like cold, cold color that you usually see on like cheap, white LEDs, right? Um, and I didn't know what to do. I I threw a I threw I threw a soap bar, right? A soap bar into um this weird light source, right? I just threw it at it, right? And I assumed that was just gonna like turn off or stop, right? Or fix the issue, right? It went through the mirror, right? It went straight through the mirror, like through the light, and it disappeared, just out of thin air, right? It just stopped existing, and at this point I was scared, right? At this point I was suspecting, that I was gonna like wake up, right? The light became bigger and eventually as big as the entire mirror. It just consumed the entire mirror, and the entire mirror just became this entire white LED light source, right? Um, and I was curious, right? So I stuck my head through, and the first thing I saw was another bathroom, right? My head was in another bathroom, unlike the one that I was in originally, right? I then see a DPRK flag, and then I hear someone rushing to that bathroom, and I saw this Korean lady, just, she was scared. She thought that I was broken, and yeah, she tried to hit me with a comb, right? Um, it hurt a bit, but so I tried to like negotiate and explain to her what was going on, right? So I got out of the mirror, right? I tried to guide her hand and slowly try to ease her into the idea. I was not even sure what was happening. I still thought it was a dream, right? So I just guided her hand into the mirror, and for her, it just looked like a normal mirror, right? Like mine, which was like a light source, right? And it went through just what happened on my end, and it was she started panicking, and I had to calm her down. Even though I was also practically also a headless chicken, and she called the cops. They also investigated. I was interrogated. I was taken to a big white facility. I was taken to a round table of about 100 other people in suits. And they asked me a bunch of questions on my whereabouts, where I came from, and I was later sent back to the toilet of the lady, only to discover that whatever portal was open there, it had been completely closed. It was a completely, just a normal mirror, right? Like any other. And it was concerning, right? So I was put in a mental facility, in the meantime, right? In half an hour away from Pyongyang. That was at least what I was told, right? You never know with those crazy socialists, right? But they interrogated me. They asked me even more questions about if I had any mental illnesses, if I was just a crazy person. And then on the drive to the airport, right, I got a peek at the the house of the bathroom where I just, where I was, right, of where I appeared in, right. It was taped up in Korean, like in Korean lettering, right, and whatever signatures or signs or whatever they call it, right, their language, right, with a yellow background and black text. So it was I assumed it was a crime thing, but yeah, they completely closed down the house. They moved the owners of the house, and it was just being like completely investigated. It looked like an investigation effort, right? From the outside, if you didn't have context of what was happening, you'd assume that a person died. But nobody died, and it was just them investigating. And I haven't heard from them since, and when it got back to Copenhagen, right, I was being, I was put um, in the South Korean embassy, for whatever reason, right? They put me there because like they probably misheard it, right? And there I was being held hostage. Um, if I they said that if I if I even tried to escape, they were gonna like try to kill me, right? And I haven't seen my family in since any of this happened, right? I haven't seen them. I've heard that I heard that they put up missing persons posters about me. They just think I'm missing. They don't know where I am, and I haven't seen them in what feels like forever, right? So, but yeah,